Welcome back to Tom. Today, chocolate chip cookies. I know we've made them before. We've tested out different types of methods. This one is the Christina Tosi method as opposed to the Alton Brown method. But when it comes to these cookies, I'm willing to experiment with any recipe people give me. So my latest one, the Christina Tosi method, involves whipping up butter and eggs until they're light as air, then refrigerating the dough, then baking. It's worth all the effort because you get these like perfect bakery style chocolate chip cookies. So let's get on with it. Let's make some chocolate chip cookies right now and start off our week with a chocolate chip sugar bang. Let's do it right now. So I've got two different methods I use. I have what I learned from Alton Brown, which is he melts the butter and then makes the mix. And then I have the Christina Tosi method, which is whipping the butter until it's like an airy cloud. So both require refrigeration between the either making the dough or, in Christina Tosi's case, shaping the dough before you can bake them. But it seems to yield the best results ever. So what I have here is 8 ounces, which is 225 grams of butter. And I'm adding to that 140 grams, which is 5 ounces of brown sugar, and same amount, 140 grams, 5 ounces of white granulated sugar. And I'm gonna beat them up for about 2 minutes. Best if I turn on the electricity. And we're gonna beat, and the other one. We're gonna beat for 2 minutes before we add the eggs. And then we're gonna beat for like 7 to 8 minutes. So just to incorporate the butter and the sugar, and then we're gonna add the eggs. Our butter and sugar are mixed together. It's that grainy texture. Let me show you. Big grains, not quite dense. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add the eggs. 2 eggs are going in there along with 2 teaspoons, 1, 2 of vanilla. And now we're gonna beat for 7 to 8 minutes until the mixture is really, really light and fluffy. Usually most mixes would have you stop once the eggs were incorporated into the butter. We're not stopping. We're adding loads and loads of air to this. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna raise the cookie while it bakes and let it sink upon itself. Yes, I like that sinking motion, which gives you that gooey center and the crispy outside, which is what is so delicious in a chocolate chip cookies aside from the chocolate chip. So we're gonna let this guy go. I'm gonna scrape it down. Actually, let's do that right now. Let's just scrape down the sides to ensure that all the butter that has adhered to the sides actually gets involved in this whole making things as light as a cloud. All right, so we're gonna keep on beating. Set your timers, 7, 8 minutes. It really depends on how light and fluffy it gets. It's been 8 minutes, and let me show you how light and fluffy. Can you see pretty much how dark that is? Let me just give you a look at that. Light, fluffy. It's got a humongous amount of air in it. So that's our butter, our sugar, our eggs, and vanilla. And now let's make our flour combination. What I have here is bread flour. It really helps with the structure of the cookies. I've got 340 grams. I forgot how much that is in ounces, but I think it's 12 ounces if I'm not mistaken. To that I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And we're gonna give that a mix. And we're gonna add it all in one go to our bowl with our butter and sugar. And then we're just going to let it mix for about a minute, not longer. We don't wanna in any way overwork this flour. That's what's gonna keep our cookies nice and soft. So less than a minute, just keep an eye on it until the flour is almost completely incorporated, but that doesn't take very long. Give it a good shake, And we are nearly there, and we're there. Excellent. What I have here is my chocolate chips. I'm a huge chocolate chip fan, and I usually recommend a combination of big chocolate chips and mini ones. But of course, my house, I'm not the only chocolate chip fan, and all the big chocolate chips were gone. So all we've got is mini and a few pieces of a chocolate bar that I broke up to make up the weight. So I have 12 ounces of chocolate chips going in there. If you don't have chocolate chip thieves in your home, then by all means do the combination of big and little. What we like here is that the little chocolate chips get in between the big ones, and we are done. Look at that awesome chocolate chip cookie dough. So we're still going according to the Christina Tosi method, which is we're going to shape our chocolate chip dough. And here we go, into little mounds on my ice cream scoop, but you can do this with a spoon, and onto my baking sheet it goes. I'm gonna keep on going with the rest of the dough before we go into the fridge for the minimum time of an hour, but you could do this like well ahead of time. So I'm gonna shape and refrigerate. Oh my goodness, okay, they're all shaped. They're ready to go into the fridge for an hour minimum, but up to 3 days. I am definitely not waiting 3 days. I am just waiting the hour. But if you weren't to put them in the fridge for at least an hour, you would get an awesome chocolate chip cake, not cookies. And we're definitely after cookies today. So into the fridge they go. Minimum time is an hour. Our cookies have been in the fridge for an hour. I pressed down ever so slightly on the domes to flatten out just a bit. They're going into the oven set at 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes, but keep an eye on them. At around 12 minutes, have a look and swap, because I'm putting 2 trays in at once, swap them in between. So 6 minutes in, I'm gonna swap the cookie sheets, but at 12 minutes, I'm gonna start checking to see if they're the right level of doneness. So they're gonna be just about set in the center, but not fully, but crispy on the edges. That's what we're looking for. So into the oven we go. Our cookies are out of the oven and they are glorious. They are beautiful. I am so excited about these. I'm so excited to share them. I know we make chocolate chip cookies a lot, but there are a lot of reasons for chocolate chip cookies. They just bring smiles to people's faces. And we have lots of reasons to smile. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead, filled with good things and smiles. Lots and lots of smiles. Bye everyone, see you soon.